The morning that my youngest daughter left for university, I made 2 cups of tea by pure and thoughtless habit. Stood in the kitchen holding both of them, and laughed until the laughing turned to something else entirely. The cab had gone already, she'd already hugged me at the gate, already said, "Daddy, I'll call you when I land." And I had said, "Travel safe," which is the everything we say when we cannot manage what we actually want to understand. The house had voices in it for 30 consecutive years. The argument of children, someone running on the stairs, the smell of breakfast at 7, someone always in the bathroom, someone always needing something, someone always there. Then just the clock, the kitchen clock, just the clock, just that particular sound, which I had never in 30 years been able to hear above the ordinary noise of what we'd built. The day the house fell silent, I didn't know what silence weighed. I thought I understood the meaning of alone, but I had never been so unafraid, and so afraid. In the same exact moment, standing in the wreckage of all the noise I'd spent years praying would stop. The day the house fell silent, I finally heard myself for the first time. And some of what I heard, I had forgotten how to love. Cecilia came home from the market in the afternoon. She found me still standing in the kitchen, still with the 2 cups cold by then. She didn't say a word. She washed the extra cup, put it back, made 2 new ones, set them both down on the table. We sat across from one another in the quiet, and that was the most married we had ever been. Without a child between us, filling up the space, we had to look at one another properly for the first time in years. Cecilia used to say that noise is just love, looking for a place to land. I sat in that kitchen and I understood her finally, with cold tea in my still 2-cup hands. And when the silence broke, it was just the clock and the 2 of us, and enough years behind us to begin again. The day the house fell silent, I didn't know what silence await. I thought I understood the meaning of alone, but I had never been so unafraid, and so afraid. In the same exact moment, the day the house fell silent, something that had been asleep in me for years opened both its eyes. buried Fitzroy Morris on a Tuesday in October, under the same silk cotton tree where we played as boys. He was the last one who remembered the way the schoolyard smelled when Sister Thompson rang the bell and made that particular noise. His daughters wept in black and didn't know me by my face, just an old man standing in the back row with a hymn book held. Their father and I once stole green mangoes from the yard on a street that's now a parking lot for a new hotel. I wanted to stand up during the remembrance and tell them things the eulogy it failed to say, that Fitzroy Morris once carried me 3 miles on his back when I turned my ankle on a Saturday, that he could identify 12 different birds by sound alone, that he wept one time when the old tamarind tree came down and made me swear on my mother's name I'd never tell a soul. I kept that oath for 47 years until today. I am the last man from my childhood now, the last one who remembers how we were. No one living knows our secret names, the rivers that we crossed, the oaths we swore. I carry all of them inside me, like a church that no one enters anymore. I am the last man from my childhood, and I feel the cold draft coming through that door. There were 7 of us once on that stretch of road by name: Fitzroy, Desmond, Owen, Franklin, Carl, and me and Clive. Clive went first in 79, the car was going too fast. Owen went to Canada and we let the letters die. Franklin made it to 50 before the sugar took him. Desmond and Carl went within 3 months of one another, and Carl's wife said he stopped eating after Desmond, the way some men do when they've buried enough of their brothers. I wanted to say, Fitzroy Morris built his first kite from a sugar bag and 2 sticks, and it flew. It actually flew. He stood in the middle of that field with his arms raised up, and he laughed like nothing in his life would ever not work out. I wanted to say that in a church full of people who loved him but didn't know that kite, who didn't know the boy inside the grandfather they were mourning. He deserved to have that voice spoken of in daylight. Before I'm the only one who remembers it, and I'm not going to be here always. I am the last man from my childhood now, the last one who remembers how we were. No one living knows our secret names, the rivers that we crossed, church that no one enters anymore. I am the last man from my childhood, and I feel the cold draft coming through that door. I drove home slowly on the coastal road. The sea was doing nothing it don't always do, but it looked different somehow, like it knew that 7 had become 1, and the 1 it still had was running out of road.
Hard being a man. They said stand up straight, don't let them see it bend. So I swallowed every word and wore a wire thin grin. I learned to fix a truck, learned to lift that weight, but no one taught me how to put my heart down safe. And I'm tired of the rule that I can't call for help. Tired of being strong like I built myself. It's hard being a man, hard to let it show, hard to say I'm scared when you're taught to hold. Hard being a man when the night gets loud. I still need your arms to pull me back down. Hard being a man, hard being a man. A baby in my hands, and the world feels new. Then I hear my father's voice in the things I do. Don't cry at the table, don't break in the rain. So I take it on the chin and I smile through the pain. But the smile gets tired and the silence grows. Even a hard old stone can crack below. It's hard being a man, hard to let it show, hard to say I'm scared when you're taught to hold. Hard being a man when the night gets loud. I still need your arms to pull me back down. Hard being a man, hard being a man. If I fall, don't laugh. If I flinch, stay near. I've been carrying years like there's someone else's gear. I want the whole truth, not a trophy case. Just one honest hand on my shaking face. It's hard being a man, hard to let it show, hard to say I'm scared when you're taught to hold. Hard being a man, but I'm learning now. I don't have to bleed to you deserve your love.
Hard being a man. Hard being a man.
You came home loud, and the room got small. Keys hit the bowl, then you blamed the wall. Your words cut clean, like glass on skin. I learned to smile, to let you in. I kept the lights low, kept my voice soft, walked on the cracks just to keep us off. I'm not your cage, I'm not your blame. You don't get to break me, then call it love again. I'm out the door, I'm out your reach. You don't get to hold me with a fist and a kiss.
You don't get to.
Blue on my wrist from where you grabbed. You said I'm sorry, then took it back. My phone lit up with your name again. I left it on to prove I'm brave. I kept the lights low, kept my voice soft. But silence now is what you lost. I'm not your cage, I'm not your blade. You don't get to break me, then call it love again. I'm out the door, I'm out your reach. You don't get to hold me with a fist and a kiss.
You don't get to.
I found my shoes by the front mat. I found my name where I took it back. No more trembling, no more fear. I say your name and it disappears. I'm not your cage, I'm not your blame. You don't get to break me, then call it love again. I'm out the door, I'm out your reach. You don't get to hold me with a fist and a kiss. I'm not your cage, I'm not your blame.
You don't get to.
I'm out the door, I'm out your reach. You left your shoes by the door, still dust on the heel. I was ready to say what I thought I should feel, but your eyes said wait, like they knew my name. And the hurt in my hands started losing its shape. I don't heal fast, I don't forget clean, but something in me keeps pulling to the seam. Give me one more try, one more try. crack bloom up by the sink in the light. Half a life in the room, in a small silver slice. You said I messed up, and I said me too. Now the silence between us feels less like the truth. I don't heal fast, I don't forget clean, but something in me keeps pulling to the seam. Give me one more try, one more try. We can learn this line. One more time,
one more time.
give me one more try. Don't say goodbye. If love can bend, let it bend tonight.
Bend tonight.
We don't need perfect, we just need real. A little more mercy, a little more feels. If the door stays open, I'll meet you there. Not like before, but maybe even more aware. Give me one more try, one more try. We can learn this line. One more time,
One more time.
give me one more try. Don't say goodbye. If love can bend, let it bend tonight.
Bend tonight.
Give me one more try, one more try. Still got a spark, if you still got the light.
Got the light.
There's a green ring box in the junk drawer, under old coupons and a bent table key. Your side of the bed still stays made up, but the pillow's gone flat where your head used to be. We said forever, like it was easy, like two hard hearts could learn to speak. Too late for us, too late for us. We let the gold go down. Too late for us, too late for us. Now the house is full of dust.
I loved you once.
Too late for us. The church still asks if we're coming Sunday. I smile and lie, like I know how to pray. Your coffee mug still has your lipstick on the cabinet shelf where you left it that day. We said forever, like it was easy. Then every small hurt turned into weeks. Too late for us, too late for us. We let the gold go down. Too late for us, too late for us.
let the gold go dull. Too late for us, too late for us. Now the house is full of dust. I loved you once. Too late for us. Too late for us.
There's a chair on this porch where my father used to sit. Before arthritis stole his hands and the years had their say, I never told him how I watched him through the kitchen window, studying every line that the sun had carved into his face. He was a quiet man, the way the ocean is quiet. When you're standing far enough from shore that you can't hear the waves. I thought I had more time to ask him what he prayed for. I thought silence was a gift and not a thing I'd grieve. My wife Cecilia keeps a letter in the Bible. She wrote it to her mother who had been gone 20 years. I found it once by accident and put it back exactly. Some truths belong to the one who had the courage to be clear. And I have letters of my own I never finished, addressed to people who have gone ahead of me to rest. The paper's yellow now, the ink is barely visible, like the feeling underneath, still there but compressed. We carry what we cannot name, the weight of unspoken things, the grace we meant to deliver, the praise we meant to bring. Lord, what do the living owe the dead, and do the dead forgive? We carry what we cannot name, the weight of unspoken things is just the love that didn't know the way to live. My oldest friend Everton, we shook hands at Christmas. I wanted to embrace him, but I didn't know how. Men of our generation learn to hold our bodies like furniture, things to sit in, not things that feel. We spent 40 years in the same 2 square miles, talking about everything except what it meant to be afraid. He's been gone 3 years now, and I practice saying what I should have said while we were sitting in this shade. We carry what we cannot name, the weight of unspoken things, the grace we meant to deliver, the praise we meant to bring. Lord, what do the
unspoken things is just the love that didn't know the way to live. I've been talking to the evening lately, confessing to the sea all the words I swallowed down like medicine that never made it free. There is a particular kind of tide that only comes from years of almost saying it, of stopping at the threshold of the thing and turning back to sit with me a while before the light gives out. There's still time to say the things that love has always been about. There's still time.
Every morning when I pour my coffee, I pour my father's cup beside my own. I set it on the table near the window, and I tell him what the news is, what the garden's growing, what the grandchildren said when they last came, what the weather's doing on the eastern side. He was a man who needed to be told things. He received information like a country receives rain, quietly, and put it to use. I still tell Everton the football results on Saturday. Still argue with him over the same 2 points we always argued. He would have hated how the politics turned out, and I would give a year of my remaining time to hear him say so from the chair he always used. I still hear his laugh, not a memory of the laugh, the actual laugh, when I make the joke we made in 1992 about the minister and the horse, which only we found funny, which will die with me unless I teach it to someone else, which I will. I still talk to the dead, because the dead know things the living won't say. I still talk to the dead, because they haven't gone entirely away. Some will say I'm grieving wrong, some will say I need to let them rest, but I still talk to the dead, and the dead talk back, not in voices, but in what comes next. Not in voices, but in what I choose next. My mother used to talk to her mother long after her mother had been gone for years. I was young and thought it was the loneliness of old women, the way they populated the quiet with the lost. But I understand it now as something else entirely. It is memory insisting on relationship. It is the refusal to accept that love ends at the grave, which it doesn't. It just changes its address. I still talk to the dead, because the dead know things the living won't say. I still talk to the dead, because they haven't gone entirely away.
Some will say I'm grieving wrong. Some will say I need to let them rest. But I still talk to the dead, and the dead talk back. Not in voices, but in what comes next. Not in voices, but in what I choose next. There are cultures that set a place at the table. There are cultures that burn the letter at the graveside. There are cultures that speak the name every morning, so the name doesn't disappear into the unnamed. All of those cultures understood something that the modern world has tried to schedule away. The dead are not a problem to be processed. The dead are the people who built the ground you're standing on today. Good morning, Papa. Good morning, Everton. Good morning, Mama. The coffee's on. The garden is doing well. The grandchildren are loud. Everything is continuing. I thought you'd wanna know.
Father climbed the roof in the rain, nail in his teeth, never said my name. Just a look that told me, hold the light. And we worked till the leak gave up the fight. He loved like a hammer, love's a nail. Steady, steady, quiet in the work, and he never did fail. He never said the word, but the word was there. In the roof that held, in the mended chair. That's how a man like him would tell. That's all, that's all. The only language that he knew so well. He fixed my shoes by the kerosene flame. Fingers cracked, but he never complained. I waited for a soft word, waited in vain. All I got was a roof that held back the rain. He loved like a hammer, love's a nail. Steady, steady, quiet in the work, and he never did fail. He never said the word, but the word was there. In the roof that held, in the mended chair. And I swore I'd be different, swore I'd say it out loud. Then I grew to be my father, Lord, proud and silent and proud. 37 arguing about politics at a table full of men who'd all be ghosts before I turned 55. We were so certain, Lord, so loud, so permanent, like we had signed some contract guaranteeing us a life. The arguments I can't remember anymore, the men I can. Franklin's laugh, Desmond's way of slapping the table when he thought he'd won. Gone now, all of them, and I'm the only one who still remembers what we argued. I had a woman who needed my attention on a Sunday. She asked me once, she asked me twice, she stopped asking after 3. I gave the Sunday to a football match and a bottle of stout, and told myself she understood because she loved me. She lives in England now with a man who makes her tea without being asked, who looks up from the television when she speaks. I've got Sundays now, Lord, I've got plenty of Sundays now, and they are the longest days I've ever had to keep. Nobody handed me a calendar and said, circle the days you're spending on what won't last. Nobody showed me a photograph of who I'd become when the future finally settled with my past. Nobody sat me down and said, listen, every day you're somewhere else is a day you'll want returned. I had to arrive at 60 to receive that lesson, and by then there was nothing left to learn it from. Nobody told me time was running, running, running like a river to the sea. Nobody said it would go this fast. Nobody said the end would come as memory. I thought I had until forever. I thought the clock would wait upon my side. Nobody told me time was running till the day I had no more of it to ride. My youngest daughter, Grace, was 4 years old on a Christmas morning, and she wanted me to carry her to the window to see the frost that was unusual that year. I said, wait, let me finish this one thing. By the time I'd finished, she had found her own way to the window and climbed up by herself. She's 28 now, and she finds her own way to most things. I am proud of that, I am. But sometimes I think about that window and the man who said, wait. Nobody told me time was running, running, running like a river to the sea. Nobody said it would go this fast. Nobody said the end would come as memory. I thought I had until forever. I thought the clock would wait upon my side. Nobody told me time was running till the day I had no more of it to ride. If I could find the version of myself at 30, sitting at that table, loud and certain, I would not give him wisdom, he wouldn't take it. I would just sit beside him very quietly and put my hand on his arm and say nothing, just slow down, not yet.
The river doesn't ask permission, it just goes. And you can stand beside it angry, or you can watch it go. I watched it go, I watched it go.
I didn't find peace. I want to be honest about this. It didn't come because I was wise or because I worked for it. It came to me the way the morning comes, without announcement. Not because I deserved it, just because enough time had finally passed for something to stop requiring my suffering. I am 60 years old, sitting on this porch. The sea is doing exactly what it's always done. The grandchildren are in the yard, making the particular noise that only grandchildren make, which is different from the noise that children make. I know this because I now know the difference, and I am not trying to be anywhere else. For the first time in the recorded history of my sitting anywhere, I wasted years in rooms I had no desire to be inside. I spent good money on the approval of people I didn't admire. I was unkind to people who had done nothing to deserve it. I was absent from the things that were asking for my presence. I asked forgiveness, sometimes on time, sometimes not, and somehow something in the accounting settled. Not because I balanced it, but because grace is not accountancy. Peace found me late, but it found me on a Thursday. Nothing particular about it. It found me in the ordinary light at the end of an ordinary day. Peace found me late, but I didn't have to earn it. I just had to stop running long enough for it to catch up and sit down alongside me and stay. Cecilia brought out the tea at 6:30, set it on the railing, went back in without a word. 40 years of marriage has its own entire language that is mostly silence, and that silence is not emptiness. That silence is the depth of a lake that only looks still from the surface. There is nothing still about 40 years. There is nothing still about this evening. Everything is full. Everything is full. Peace found me late, but it found me on a Thursday. Nothing particular about it. It found me in the ordinary light at the end of an ordinary day. Peace found me late, but I didn't have to earn it. I just had to stop running long enough for it to catch up and sit down alongside me
and stay. If I could give one thing to the young men still chasing everything they're sure they need, I would not give them advice, they won't take it. I would say, find a Porsche, find the one person who will make you tea at 6:30, without asking what you take in it, because they already know. Let the evening settle on your shoulders. The life you are searching for is not ahead of you, it is already underneath you. It has been waiting, it is patient, it is not in a hurry, it is here. Peace found me late, but it found me on a Thursday. Nothing particular about it, it found me in the ordinary light at the end of an ordinary day. Peace found me late, but I didn't have to earn it. I just had to stop running long enough for it to catch up and sit down alongside me and stay. The sea is still out there, the sea is still out there. The mango tree is still alive. The children of my children will have children, and the story will find a way to survive. I am not afraid, I am not afraid, I am not afraid tonight. The weight of unspoken things is lifting with the light, is lifting with the light.
Daniel, come and sit, your grandpa's old. Let me give you something better than gold. Not advice from a man upon a hill, just the truth from one who paid the bill. Don't wait like I did, child. Don't wait. Don't save the love for a someday too late. Say it to them now while they can hear. While they hear. I learned it slow and I learned it dear. I'm not telling you 'cause I did it right. I'm telling you 'cause I lost that fight. Your great-grandfather couldn't, and I couldn't too. But the chain ends here, it ends with you. Don't wait like I did, child. Don't wait. Don't save the love for a someday too late. Say it to them now while they can hear. I learned it slow and I learned it dear. This ain't a sermon, this is a scar. I'm just showing you mine and where you are. I picked up the phone with a shaking hand, dialed the numbers to a far-off land, heard it ring in a place I've never been. My son's whole life that I've never seen. Across the silence, I'm reaching out. Don't know the words, but I'm finding them somehow. I raised you wrong, and I raised you cold. I'm sorry, son, and I love you. There, the truth be told. Maybe he picks up, maybe he don't. Maybe he forgives me, maybe he won't. But I won't die with this damned up inside. I'll send the word across the great divide. Across the silence, I'm reaching out. Don't know the words, but I'm finding them somehow. I raised you wrong, and I raised you cold, and I love you. There, the truth be told. The line just rings, and I let it ring. The reaching matters more than the answering. They put Joseph down on a Tuesday morning. No time for a warning, no time at all. I stood at the grave with my hat in my hand, and the 3 words I owed him would not come to call. I never told Joseph, I never told Joseph,
Never told.
40 years, and I never told my friend that he was my brother, the best that I had,
The best I had.
and now there's no later, no later again. The boat sits empty down at the tide, half of it missing where he used to ride. I talk to him now like a fool on the dock. All the soft words come easy when the door is locked. I never told Joseph, I never told Joseph,
Never told.
40 years, and I never told my friend that he was my brother, best that I had, and now there's no later, no later again. Let this be the lesson, if I learn no other. Say it to the living, say it to your brother. Years me and Joseph on the sea, closer than my own blood was to me. He'd give me his last, I'd give him mine, and not one soft word in all that time. Two men on the water, side by side, side by side, love like brothers, but we never said it wide. We'd share the bread, we'd share the storm, share it all, and let the silence keep us warm. He pulled me from the deep in '83. I never said a thank you properly, just bought him a rum and clapped his back. That was our whole grammar, that was the pact. Two men on the water, side by side, side by side, love like brothers, but we never said it wide. We'd share the bread, we'd share the storm, and let the silence keep us warm. We had 1,000 mornings to get it said, and I saved it for later. Now later is dead. Pearl got the soft of me, I confess. Got the songs and the bedtime tenderness. I'd carry her shoulder high down the lane, while a brother watched from the window pane. Pearl got the soft of me, the soft of me, and her brother got the man I thought I had to be. Same heart, but I split it down in two, gave the warm to one and the cold to you. I don't know why I let her in. Maybe a daughter slips past where a son had been. Maybe I feared he'd grow up weak, so I gave him my back when he came to speak. Pearl got the soft of me, the soft of me, and her brother got the man I thought I had to be. Same heart, but I split it down in two, gave the warm to one and the cold to you. Pearl, you forgive me, you stayed close by. Your brother just left, and I know why. Ivy's hair gone silver in the lamplight now. 50 years and I still don't know how to turn to her plane and finally say the thing I've been swallowing every day before the light runs out.
Before it's gone,
I got to learn to say it, learn to say it out. Joseph took his door before I reached the latch.
don't make that mistake.
Don't let the same silence take what's left to catch. I watch her sleep and the fear comes strong. What if the morning that I find the words is the wrong one, the late one, the one that comes after the chance to say it is done before the light runs out.
Before it's gone,
I got to learn to say it, learn to say it out. Joseph took his door before I reached the latch. Don't let the same silence take what's left to catch. 60 years a builder, never built the nerve to give her the words that she deserved. He left a watch that doesn't work and $300 in a tin, a Bible with his name inscribed and margins full of notes in red, a photograph from before the years had gotten to him properly, standing by a car he borrowed, wearing someone else's coat instead. He left a debt to Mr. Harvey on the eastern end of town that I paid without a question on the morning after the funeral, because he would have paid it, and the man he owed it to was older than the debt and didn't need to carry it a moment further. But he also left the particular way I hold a hammer, the patience with the seed that takes its time to understand the soil, the way I scan the sky before I make a promise about the weather, the way I rise at 5 without an alarm. For 40 years of mornings, he left the habit of the last light check before I sleep. The window, then the door, then the stove, then the window again. He left me the belief that a job begun should be completed, even when completing it means staying in the rain. What my father left behind wasn't locked in any drawer. It was living in the muscle and the marrow at the core, in the way I face the morning, in the things I can't explain, in the way I look for his face, an old man on the street. What my father left behind is everything I became. I have a son named Marcus who was raised in a different world, who never met his grandfather, who knows the man by stories only. Marcus does a thing with his teacup before he lifts it to his mouth, turns it once, considers it, then drinks. I do the same thing. My father did the same thing. I never taught it to Marcus, nobody taught it to my father. It arrived from somewhere further back than any of us can name, and it will travel further forward than any of us will see. What my father left behind wasn't locked in any drawer. It was living in the muscle and the marrow at the core, in the way I face the morning, in the things I can't explain, in the way I look for his face, an old man on the street. What my father left behind is everything I became. I used to be angry at him, I wanna say that plainly, for the years he was too tired to be present, for the ways he withheld what he didn't know how to give, for the man-shaped silence at the center of my boyhood. I was angry, and then I had a son, and I understood something about the weight of trying to be good, without a proper map, without a model, without a language for the softness inside a man that was trained out of him before he knew it was there. I forgave him at 42, standing in the yard with a hammer in the rain, refusing to stop. The dead are not done,
That's what I know now. The dead are in your hands. The dead are in your mornings. The dead are in the cup you turn before you drink. The dead are not done. They just change the way they speak.
Ivy, sit down here beside me, please. Let me get this out before the words can freeze. All the times I painted fences blue, when what I meant was simply, plainly you. Ivy, I should have said it, 50 years ago and every day since then. I love you, there it's out, it's free.
Out at last.
The truest word that ever came from me. The coins on the table, the roof, the boat, they were love letters that I never wrote. But here's the words behind the things I do. Every nail I ever drove, I drove for you. Ivy, I should have said it, 50 years ago and every day since then. I love you, there it's out, it's free. The truest word that ever came from me. You knew it all along. I see you smile, but you deserve to hear it, deserved it all this while. Daniel climbed up on my knee one day, looked right up, and the boy did say, "Grandpa, do you love me?" Simple and clear, and the whole of my silence broke right here. And I said it,
He said it.
plain as the morning. Yes, child, I do. 50 years of swallowing, and look at that. A baby pulled the word right through. He didn't even know what he'd undone. He just smiled and ran off in the sun. but the dam was cracked and the water came. And I sat on the porch and I wept with no shame. And I said it,
he said it,
plain as the morning. Yes, child, I do. 50 years of swallowing, and look at that. A baby pulled the word right through. If a child can ask it, and a child can hear, why did I let it cost the ones I held so dear? I went to my father's grave today. Finally found the words to say. I know now, Papa, what you couldn't tell. You loved me in the roof, you loved me well. I made my peace with a silent man,
made my peace,
read his love in the work of his hands. He gave what he had, the way he was made,
the way he was made.
and I forgive the words he never said. Same as I hope my own boy will look past my silence and find me still in the boat, in the bills, in the standing in the rain, and forgive his father the very same. I made my peace with a silent man,
made my peace,
read his love in the work of his hands. He gave what he had, the way he was made,
the way he was made.
and I forgive the words he never said. The grace I'm giving, I'm hoping to receive. That's the whole long circle. That's what I believe. There's a photograph of Cecilia at 23, standing in the doorway of the house on Pembroke Lane. She's laughing at something just outside the frame. And I have been trying for 30 years to remember what I said. Her hair is pulled back in the way she only wore it on a Saturday. Her dress is the yellow one that went missing after the move. Everything in that photograph is perfectly at rest. And I know for certain that the day it was taken was also the day we had the worst argument of our first year together, and then made up, and then made this. There's a photograph of all four of us, the Christmas before my mother's mind began its slow departure. We're smiling in the arranged, deliberate way families smile when someone holds the camera and says, "Now hold it, hold it." My mother's eyes are still completely hers. That would be the last photograph where they are entirely hers. We didn't know that at the time. We were looking at the camera, not at her. The photographs in the drawer are everyone's best lie. We were better looking and more together than we'll ever be in anyone's goodbye. Every frame a perfect country that never fully was. The photographs in the drawer hold the silence we discuss with strangers, but not with us. I keep a photograph my daughter Grace took on a phone. She was learning the camera and shot everything carelessly. She took a picture of me at the kitchen table in the morning, unposed, unheld, unready for anyone's eyes. I have both cups of tea in front of me, and I'm looking out the window at the nothing in the yard, and the light is gray. And my face is a face I don't recognize as the one I wear inside. That is the truest photograph I have ever been in. Grace wanted to delete it, I asked her not to. That is the real one. That is the one I want at the end of everything. The photographs in the drawer are everyone's best lie. We were better looking and more together than we'll ever be in anyone's goodbye. Every frame a perfect country that never fully was. The photographs in the drawer hold the silence we discuss with strangers, but not with us. I think I'd rather have the imperfect ones, the blurred ones, the closed-eye ones, the almost missed, the one where someone just woke up, the one where someone just wept, the ones that didn't turn a frame or a place on the mantelpiece. That's where the actual living was alive. Not in the held smile, not in the good light, not in the dress you only wore for occasions, but in the morning face, the uncurated light, the 2 cups of tea going cold together. Put the camera down sometimes, just look at them, just look. Silence, silence, silence. Yeah. The year I made enough money to feel like I was winning. I was away from home for 11 months straight. Cecilia planted a garden in my absence. By the time I returned, it had a whole language I didn't speak. She knew the names of every plant, and when they wanted water, she'd made something out of the yard I'd always meant to fix. I stood there in my good shoes, feeling very far from everything that had grown while I was acquiring things that couldn't grow. My daughter Marcia had her first bad heartbreak in November. Called the house at 2 a.m. from school, first year away. I was 3 time zones behind a deal that closed at midnight. Half asleep and useless, and asked her to call back in the day. She stopped calling at 2 a.m. after that. She learned to carry her own heart through the difficult, and I tell myself that made her independent, made her strong. But there's a difference between strong and made to carry what a father should have held. And I have known that difference for 20 years, and I have not stopped knowing it. The things money could not fix are the things I bought the time to break. The things money could not fix are the receipts I keep finding when I wait. Every comfort I purchased, every comfort I built, the things money could not fix are the compound interest on the guilt that I am still paying, still paying. I missed the school play, the hospital scare, the argument that Cecilia won alone at 3 a.m. while I was elsewhere. I came home to decisions already made, to rooms already arranged, to systems already in place. The family had learned to work without the part I was supposed to be, and that worked fine. And that is a sentence that should never apply to a father that worked fine without him. That worked fine.
Things money could not fix
all the things I bought the time to break.
the things money could not fix
All the receipts I keep finding when I wait. Every comfort I purchase, every comfort I built,
the things money could not fix
are the compound interest on the guilt that I am still paying, still paying. I wanna be careful here, because regret without change is just performance. And I did change, slowly, badly, too late in some ways. But I changed. I came home and I stayed home. I learned the names of the plants. I started answering at 2 a.m. I said I'm sorry, not once, more than once. Not as a transaction, but as a practice. And Marcia eventually answered, and Cecilia eventually let me in the garden. And Marcus saw me and thought, I will not be this part of him. And he isn't. And that is my great
achievement, a son who corrected me by watching me and deciding differently. The things money could not fix are fixed sometimes by time, are fixed sometimes by nothing, are fixed sometimes by showing up late but showing up. But showing